Hello, my name is Gabriel de Barros, and I present here the partial results of my master's project on the icnofósseis of the São Paulo region during the glacial period, how animals colonized these environments from the past. You probably know that fossils are the records of animals, plants, and even microorganisms that lived millions of years ago. But most of we consider to be fossils are the body fossils, which are, as the name says, the fossils of the bodies of these animals, plants, etc. There is a different area within paleontology, named ichnology. This area studies not the fossils of the body of the animals and plants, but the indirect record of the presence of these animals. Feces, footprints, and eggs, for example, are records that can be fossilized but are not fossils of the body, but the indirect presence of these organisms. They are very important for paleontology because there are several types of animals that are not easily preserved in the fossil record, especially those with soft bodies or in environments where fossilization does not happen so easily. One of the notable ichno-fossil records is preserved in the rocks of approximately 323 to 298 millions of years ago in the São Paulo region. In addition to the ichno-fossils, these rocks have evidence that were formed in a very cold environment, a glacial environment, during the Carboniferous, which is the name that we give to the period that happened 359 to 299 million of years ago. The state of São Paulo was much closer to the South Pole, so you can imagine how cold it was. Glacial environments have very specific environmental conditions, mainly related to low temperatures and melting glaciers. Thus, to colonize these environments, animals need to be adapted, or environmental changes need to occur for this to happen. This project aims to answer the questions: how was the colonization of animals in this glacial environment from the past of the Itu region in the state of São Paulo? Focused mainly on the ichnofossils of the place. To answer these questions, we first need to understand what specific environment these ichnofossils are in. Therefore, 6 points were visited in the study of rocks and ichnofossils. From the rocks, we identified some different environments which they are formed. At the site, it's possible to observe that the rocks were formed in a glacial marine environment, or at least in a brackish water environment. Also, concerning animals, we can only observe ichnofossils formed by marine worms, produced in different behaviors, some producing tubes for feeding, just walking in the substrate leaving horizontal tubes, some doing this zigzag movement, and some walking producing these wave trays. These ichnofossils, in addition to the rocks, are characteristics of a marine environment. But advancing in time, in the newer rocks, the ichnofossils change dramatically. We observe that even in marine environments there is a predominance of tracks produced by arthropods, in this case probably crustaceans or centipedes, and moreover these features are characteristics of a freshwater environment. Later we observed rocks representative of freshwater environments and also dominated by freshwater arthropod tracks. But how could this happen? Marine environments with marine animals, then marine environments with freshwater animals, and then freshwater environments with freshwater animals. How this transition happened? So far, it's possible to understand that the place was probably a marine environment, but with a freshwater from melting glaciers greatly reducing the amount of salt in these environments. The decrease in salt in this marine environment made it possible that these freshwater animals colonized the place, with a total change in the ecology. Environments such as deltas, gulfs, or bays with the influence of glaciers are favorable places for these characteristic marine environments, but with such a large amount of fresh water from the melting that makes the environment closer to a coast, colonizable by freshwater animals. This directly demonstrates how the influence of melting glaciers can influence the colonization of different animals in environments of the past. The next steps for this project are more field trips to the places to seek and better understand which animals are colonizing the environment, and carry out chemical analysis to better understand what this glacial environment from the past was like in the region. So I would like to thank the graduate program in comparative biology at the University of São Paulo and the funding agency CAPES for the financial aid to the research. And thank you very much.